Hello fellow gamers, and welcome to another episode of The Gaming Frontier. My name's Jace.
And I'm Chris.
And this week, our summary is jam-packed with releases, so make sure you don't miss any of these as we run through the third full week of April 2016.
Hey folks, here we are with a brand new week, and that can only mean a whole new list of video game releases to sink your teeth into. So let's get straight into it with the 18th of April, as we will see the release of the comically and slightly obscurely named Steven Sausage Roll, a puzzler coming to the PC. Moving on to the April 19th now, we'll have a strong start with the Metroidvania title Axiom Verge. Originally launched on PC in 2015, Axiom Verge will be coming to PS Vita systems as a cross-buy purchase. Taking things back in time a little bit, fans of the original Banner Saga will be delighted to hear that they can grab the sequel, Banner Saga 2, on PC and OS X. Moving up the timeline a little bit, we'll have an alternate take on history with a little noir twist, as Blues and Bullets will be bringing both episodes 1 and 2 to PS4. And if you're looking for a new title for that fancy new VR headset of yours, the Collider 2, developed by Shortbreak Studios, will give everyone on the PC with either a Rift or Vive headset a new space dogfighting game to sink their teeth into. Not had enough rhythm games recently? Well, you're in luck, as Load on Planet X, a rhythmic indie shooter, will be blasting its way onto PC and PS4 with a later release on April 21st for iOS and Android. Finally, closing up April 19th, we have the balloon-busting Pang Adventure, releasing for PC, PS4, Xbox One and mobile devices. Ushering in the 20th of April, Clay Entertainment's Invisible Ink, previously released on PC, will be sneaking its way onto all your PS4 systems. And if that's a little bit too serious for you, let's lighten up the mood somewhat as we have Masquerade: The Baubles of Doom, a brawling puzzle platforming game from Big Ant Studios coming to PC, PS3, PS4, Xbox 360 and Xbox One. Final two games for the 20th coming up now, as the neon-soaked Megamagic Wizards of the Neon Age will be releasing on PC. And finally, for all you PS4 owners out there waiting for a new Ratchet & Clank game, you'll have to wait no more, as Insomniac will be releasing a brand new Ratchet & Clank to whet your appetite in time for the movie release later this year.
For all you football fanatics out there that are waiting for the UEFA Euro 2016 tournament to kick off, on the 21st of April we see the full physical release of UEFA Euro 2016 the game. Bundled with a copy of Pro Evolution Soccer 2016, this title is available on PC, PS4, PS3, Xbox One and Xbox 360. Next up we have a side-scrolling shooter, Rogue Stormers. Developed by Black Forest Games, this game will be blasting its way onto PC. Warhammer fans, get ready to flex those RTS fingers as Battlefleet Gothic Armada, a real-time strategy set in the Warhammer 40k universe, is making its way to PC. With the arrival of the 22nd of April, we see a new addition to the Star Fox series, making its debut on the Wii U, the highly anticipated Star Fox Zero. Accompanying this release, we also see a new companion game in the form of Star Fox Guard. Back on the topic of sport now, we see the release of Rugby Challenge 3. Developed by Wicked Witch Software, this title will be available on PC, PS4, PS3, Xbox One and Xbox 360. Those looking to delve deep into the Borderlands universe, make sure not to miss this release, as Telltale Games will be releasing Tales of the Borderlands physically for the first time. This physical release will see all 5 episodes bundled together for PC, PS4, PS3, Xbox One and Xbox 360. Next we have a title from Maximum Games, the developers behind Alekine's Gun, the explosive Lichdom Battle Mage. Already available on PC, this title will be making its console debut on the PS4 and Xbox One. And to close out this week's releases, we see the release of Counter-Terrorism Unit, a cooperative first-person shooter developed by Excalibur Games. And that concludes the summary of releases for this week.
So I'm going to be mixing it up a little bit this week for my top pick, much to everyone's surprise. I think the last few weeks I've always managed to get my hands on either a big AAA title coming out or something kind of safe. I've never really gone for the lesser known ones. This week, however, I'm going to be showing you Megamagic: Wizards of the Neon Age, a game looking to blur the lines between strategy and action RPG and an 80s themed neon-soaked rampage.
Help the two young brothers that have the key to avoid Earth's domination.
One of the reasons I decided to pick this title as my top pick for this week is, well, I tell a lie, it's kind of for a few reasons. First off, it reminds me of Shadowrun and also the older Fallout games. All of this comes in a nice little neon-soaked title just dripping with 80s nostalgia, all the way from the aesthetic and the graphics of the game down to the audio.
Now, you know every week I bang on about the visuals of pretty much every top pick I've done.
Yep.
And from the trailers of Megamagic, it just really melded together really well. I mean, from the graphics of the game, as you said, and the audio. Now, the audio really does stand out though, because if you listen to it, you're going to get those vibes from Hotline Miami, Kung Fury, and matter of fact, it is by the same person, Mitch Murder. And really, the soundtrack just goes so well with the style of the game.
Yeah, that's it. I think that's what gripped me for this game, to be honest, is first off you have those visuals, you know, you've got that blocky, retro-y 80s, over-the-top sci-fi stuff, but then you've got this really synth-heavy soundtrack backing it up, and it just sounds fantastic. I think a lot of people are going to be excited to hear the soundtrack, to be honest, because Kung Fury, you know, quite a good film. People enjoyed Hotline Miami, so it's really going to be interesting to see where they take it with such a good combination of music and visuals.
Explore a vast world. Learn all kinds of amazing spells.
So the guys over at Beautiful Games are claiming that this game is going to be kind of a blurring the lines between strategy and RPG. And if you've had time to look at any of the trailers, you'll probably see that they're kind of on the right tracks with that. They've got this traditional isometric view that's typical from this kind of game. The Shadowrun game that came out recently, and both the old Fallouts have this camera angle. You'll be very familiar with it. But instead of the turn-based battling of those kind of games, or using up action points, it's going to be using a similar system to Dragon Age, where you'll have much more of an active role in the combat, you know, pressing the buttons and watching your commands come out in real time.
Yeah, and it does look good, but I sucked at Dragon Age majorly. And you know, looking at the gameplay as well, it didn't look too forgiving. So for someone like me, who is absolutely diabolical at games like that, who relied quite heavily on the pause function of the game, I kind of find it like it might be a bit of a steep learning curve for me.
Yeah, that was something that I only found out recently, actually, is there isn't going to be an active pause system like they had in Dragon Age, so it's going to require you to be, you know, a bit more agile on your feet, you know, thinking what you're going to be doing ahead of time, maybe. But to just bring it back on some of the themes around the gameplay, the game is going to be focused on, like, this war between magic and technology. And your two main characters are going to be caught up in this struggle. There's going to be 5 magical alignments to master. They've got silly names apart from necromancy, so I'm not even going to attempt to say them. And there's going to be about 20 unique spells to research and craft, as well as summoning monsters that you defeat. So with the aesthetic and the design of the game as well, it's looking like it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. Well, unfortunately, that's all the time I've got to talk about Megamagic Wizards of the Neon Age, but I've got to say, I've played a lot of Shadowrun, and I've done my fair share of time on the old Fallout games, so to see a fresh take on this kind of game is definitely going to be something I'm looking forward to, and it's in such a unique setting as well. I'm really digging it. And if you're thinking you like the allure of the neon lights and the look of the bad fashion, then you too can pick up Megamagic Wizards of the Neon Age on the 20th of April on the PC.
Wizards of the Neon Age.
If we were to look back at when the last Star Fox game on console was released, we'd be going as far as 2005 on the GameCube. So it's no surprise that my top pick for this week is Star Fox Zero. Making its Wii U debut and its first on console for over a decade, Nintendo are hoping to revive the series with more R-Wing adventures with Fox and his crew.
Stay sharp, Fox! All units, stay low!
Now, is that any way to greet a raid?
Luckily for me, I was able to get a good hard look at Star Fox Zero and what it had to offer at a gaming event in London. And let me tell you, Nintendo have really taken Star Fox Zero back to its roots. The gameplay is reminiscent of the old Lilac Wars on the N64, and judging from the bits I've seen here and there, it's gonna be completely R-Wing focused. Sorry Star Fox Adventure fans. From the barrel rolls to the smart bombs, everything about Star Fox Zero will have every Star Fox fan jumping around on the spot in joyous nostalgia.
It's a bit of a shame about the Star Fox Adventures. That was the one I unfortunately, fortunately, played the most of on the good old GameCube. Being a Sega kid growing up, I didn't honestly get that much time on Lilac Wars on the N64, but I did play the, I guess, reboot on the 3DS when that came around, and it was a good time there. You know, the barrel rolling around, the smart bombs. It's in space. That's always a win, and getting shouted at by Slippy the Toad. That will definitely be. Definitely going to be one of those memories for me, even if it is a recent one. So, with the introduction of the Wii U and the gamepads, you know, these smoother controls, I guess, and HDifying it, it's going to be good to see how this new tech will improve on that Star Fox experience.
Yeah, and I feel like when I played it at Hyper Japan, which is what the event was, the controls for the ship were actually really well, like really responsive, because the twin joysticks worked just perfect with how you handled the ship, and elements like slowing down and speeding up were a lot more impactful as well. You know, when you want to slow down, you can actually grind your R-wing to a halt, and it's quite good to just sort of take a good look at your surroundings with that sort of functionality. And boosting to high speeds, definitely feel it as you zip past all the enemies that you come across.
Do a barrel roll. Andros won't be getting his way this time. Stay sharp, Fox.
You're good, but not good enough.
So as excited as I am for a better looking Lilac Wars, I really wanted to see what else Nintendo would be adding to this new entry in the Star Fox franchise. And boy, did they do a lot of work. We now have a variety of vehicles, ranging from your more traditional vehicles like the Landmaster and the R-Wing, as well as new inclusions in the Walker and the Gyro Wing. They've also taken it a step further with the traditional linear flight path adventure mode, and they've expanded that, introducing the player to an arena type plane where movement is completely unrestricted, so you can fly about in pretty much any direction that you want.
Yeah, I mean, an arena mode for the boss fights is going to be super interesting, especially with your core fighters, good old Slippy and Falco. Damn Slippy. And then the bosses, and I assume all the little cronies flying at you as well. Just having that unrestricted dogfight in space, I guess, that you might get from like a flight combat sim, for example, as opposed to just this linear flight path. But for me, when this game got announced a couple of years back at E3, I think it was the Walker that they demoed out. And I remember you lost your mind over this because you were insanely hyped for that Walker, and I believe it's the first time they've ever put something like that in a Star Fox game, and it did look pretty sweet, and it did add this extra dynamic to the game, so it's going to be interesting how much replayability and how much excitement they can squeeze from the Star Fox franchise.
Yeah, and the amount of work that they've put into adding new stuff to this game is absolutely phenomenal, because if you're really struggling on getting more content out of Star Fox Zero, they're actually releasing another game called Star Fox Guard. The gameplay is quite different. It's something very detached from your normal R-Wing adventures. You play as Slippy. It's your favourite, well, character, I guess, in the game.
Yeah, damn Slippy, yeah.
And it controls in a way where you use cameras to navigate this maze as enemies come towards your central command point. It's a mix between tower defense and, I suppose, in a way, if people have played the Five Nights at Freddy's games, they'll know they'll see a sort of very familiar take in the camera system there. So it's going to be amazing. It's going to be so much Star Fox content that, you know, I'm losing my mind already.
It does sound like a lot of fun, to be fair, that Star Fox Guard. It's a nice, interesting take on the franchise. It's a different direction as well, so it's always nice to see, you know, them taking risks with things like that.
So that's enough of me fanboying over the Star Fox series. From what we've discussed about how Star Fox Zero is going to go back to its roots, focusing on the R-Wing aspect that made the series truly stand out, my inner child cannot wait for the release of this game. Make sure you pick up Star Fox Zero as it takes flight on the Wii U on April 22nd.
Do a barrel roll.
Alright then folks, that's a wrap on the releases for this week. And as always, if there are any titles we've missed, we'll be covering them on our Facebook /TG Frontier, or giving a quick shout out on our Twitter at TGFrontier, so be sure to keep your eye on those. If you've noticed something we may have missed, do let us know in the comments and we'll include it in the write-up on our blog, and if you like what we're doing, be sure to give us a like and a subscribe for future updates. If you have any comments on how we can improve, or even the format of the show, leave us a message below and we'll be sure to get straight back to you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.